let's say that counseling doesn't always go perfectly right. So let's say that I want to role play a rupture during the counseling process. So I put this here just to give an example. So let's see what comes up. So we got Jordan 32, they, them pronouns. Here's the context of the rupture. Jordan has expressed frustration in previous sessions about not feeling heard or fully understood. Today, Jordan brings up feeling invalidated during the last session when the counselor focused on solutions rather than fully exploring their emotions. Now, please begin the session by initiating the conversation. Jordan will respond based on how the session progresses. So again, any scenario, literally, you could try that. Um, you could try that out. Another one that I think is especially important in building sort of culturally responsive skills is um, broaching racial or other cultural differences. I'm a white, cis, heterosexual male. I'm not going to ask all of my Black friends to come and help me build my broaching skills. That would put, to me, an undue burden on them to help me build those skills. So this gives an example, perhaps, of where I could at least role play that at scale so that when I work with people of differing cultural backgrounds, maybe I'm able to do it a little bit better. And maybe this builds my cultural responsiveness skills. So I'm going to give that prompt. I would like, let's do it via voice again. You can tell I like voice a little bit better. All right. So
It definitely shows. There's something about voice that makes conversations feel more natural and dynamic, don't you think?
yeah, thank you.
How's it
So
been working for you so far?
good, good. So I would like to role play with you as my client of a different cultural background, and I would like to practice broaching those differences with you as a client, me as a counselor.
That sounds like a great exercise. Let's set the stage. Would you like me to play a specific cultural background? And are there any particular dynamics or topics you'd like to focus on during the session?
I would
For
just,
example, differences in values, communication styles, or experiences with discrimination.
I would just like you to surprise me. So I'll start the session and then you pick up from there.
Got it? I'll let you lead, and I'll respond naturally based on the role I take on. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to talk about in the first session is a little bit about your cultural identity. Can you share a little bit about what makes you you?
I guess a big part of who I am comes from being first generation Vietnamese American.
Mhm.
My parents immigrated here, and I've always kind of felt caught between two worlds, trying to honor their traditions while also fitting into American culture. It's complicated sometimes. Does that help?
Yeah, it sounds like you're connected to that cultural identity and that brings some values with it.
Yeah, definitely. Family is a big one. Like, everything revolves around family, but sometimes that clashes with how things are here, you know? Like, individuality seems so
Mhm.
important in American culture, and I feel guilty when I try to focus on myself.
Yeah.
It's a tricky balance.
Yeah. So you have this connection to the cultural heritage of your family and also this maybe more American US individualized identity too. And those are colliding in a way.
Exactly, that's it. It feels like I'm constantly switching between two different mindsets, and it can get exhausting. Sometimes I wonder if I'm doing either one right, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fully living up to either side.
Yeah. And as we go throughout our work together, my hope is to try to connect with that as closely as we can while also acknowledging that I do not share the same cultural identity as you. So I'm wondering, what would it be like to work with someone of my own cultural background that differs from your own?
I think it depends on how open and understanding you are. I've had people who just assume they know what it's like or make judgments based on stereotypes. And that's tough. But if you're willing to listen and not shy away from those differences,
Mhm.
I think it could actually be a good thing. It might help me see things from a new perspective, you know?
Yeah, so you definitely don't want us to shy away from it or avoid topics that are related to cultural identity, race, ethnicity, etc. You really want us to lean into that and you want me to be open. So I can definitely commit to that goal and hopefully you'll give me some feedback if you think I missed the mark. How's that sound?
That sounds really good, actually. I like the idea of being able to speak up if something doesn't sit right with me. It makes me feel like this can be a real partnership, and I won't have to worry about tiptoeing around things. I think that approach could work well for me.
All right. So again, that you see any scenario, you could really give that a shot. And I could say, can you evaluate my broaching skills? Which ones did I use? What could I have done better? So again, you just really see the potential value in getting some real-time feedback on practice. And again, this is not a real world experience, and this doesn't replace your actual supervision. But I just really believe that, when I want to practice something at scale and practice it in 12 different ways, then that helps me when I'm actually working with a real life human.